I want $1 million. Like, I don't know about you, but I want to be rich. I want to have financial freedom. I want to have location freedom. I want all these things. But the thing about it is, you can't create anything that you don't believe you can have. Even when you do believe, like, let's say you believe, like, no, I actually believe that I can have $1 million. Then the problem is, why do you doubt it, right? Why do you have fear? Why aren't you taking risks like you believe it? Like, why aren't you actually embodying someone who is acting like they believe that they can make $1 million? And the reason is because under all the things that you want, under your desires, under the life that you dream and imagine having one day, there is what we call limiting beliefs, right? There are beliefs that you have subconsciously, whether you actually are aware of them or not. There are beliefs, and what those beliefs are doing is they are controlling what you do and don't do. They are controlling how much you have and don't have. Like, if you were to look around at your reality right now, everything that you feel that is missing, everything that you feel like you've been having a hard time creating or manifesting, there is a limiting belief, most likely, that is sabotaging your progress. And in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to spot them and to get rid of them. Hello and welcome back. My name is Juditha, and I'm your mindset coach and your dream life advocate. On this channel, we talk about your fears, your dreams, your insecurities, your comfort zone, literally all the things that matter when you are creating your dream life, because I'm doing the same thing. So trust me when I say that I get it. So if this sounds like your vibe, does this sound like the journey that you are on too, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about how to spot the limiting beliefs that are currently keeping you stuck, right? The ones that, like, even though you feel like you can have this certain type of life, there is still something there that is stopping you from taking consistent action. And usually it's a belief, because let me tell you something. If you 100% believe that you could have the life you want, not just the life, but if you can have the, like, everything that you say you want, like, if you actually believed in it, you would move differently. Like, you would act like someone who actually believes that they can have that thing. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you today. So the first thing that we're going to look at is, what is a limiting belief? Because you cannot get rid of something if you're not aware of what it is. A limiting belief is anything that you believe. I mean, it sounds pretty, like, self-explanatory. It's anything that you believe that is limiting you. It's anything that you believe that isn't in alignment with the life that you say you want. So let's say you say, I want to have a successful business, but you also have the belief that you can't make money easily. You have the belief that you aren't capable of running a business. You also have the belief that maybe this isn't something that's possible for you, even though it's possible for somebody else. That is a limiting belief. It's like, whatever you have a desire to do, any belief that you have that is causing doubt, that is causing fear, that is causing imposter syndrome, all those things are limiting beliefs. And the thing that you need to know about these limiting beliefs is 99.9% of them are formed in your childhood. 99% of them are formed as you are growing up. It's formed by the things that your parents have told you. It's formed by the things that you have learned through society, through your own experiences. Your subconscious mind is what's holding on to those beliefs that you've had forever. And what a belief really is just a thought that you keep on thinking. It becomes something that you just believe because you've thought it so much. Beliefs aren't necessarily facts. Some of them can be, but most of the time, the ones that limit us, they aren't facts. They're limitations. They're things that we have been believing that are keeping us small and keeping us stuck. So you know what a limiting belief is, and you know exactly why it matters for you to get rid of them. So now let's talk about how to do that. What is the process of getting rid of a limiting belief? I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of things to do. I'm going to give you 2 things to do. The first one is awareness. You have to know what your limiting beliefs are before you can get rid of them, right? Before you can change them into something that is actually useful for you. So then how do you do that? How do you become aware of everything that you are believing that is against what you actually want to create? So here's how you're going to know. You're going to grab a notebook, you're going to grab a sheet of paper, and you're going to write down your goals. You're going to write down your desires. Like, what is it that you're actually working towards? We're not just writing down pretty stuff. We're not just writing down things that feel like a fairy tale, that feel like wishful thinking. No. What do you want out of this lifetime? Why do you want it? Write that down. Okay? Your dreams and your goals, the things that you actually have an intention to create in this lifetime, if only you believed they were possible. That is what I want you to write down. After you write that down, the second thing that you're going to do is, under each of those goals, you're going to look at them and you're going to say, why can't I have this thing? What is actually stopping me from doing this? Write it all down, whether it's facts, whether it's fiction, whether it sounds real, whether it's an invisible barrier or a physical one. Write it all down, because when you have that list, we are going to look at that list, and that list is going to tell you all your limiting beliefs, right? Again, even if they are fact, even if your limiting belief is, I quite literally cannot grow in this environment. There is nobody around me who's motivating me. Even if like it's true, like you can look out into your reality and you say, well, this is true. This is what I'm experiencing. It doesn't matter. The reason why that would still be a limiting belief is because it goes against your dreams. It goes against your goals. It is limiting you in some way. And when something is limiting you in some way, you have the choice to stop believing it, right? If you really wanted to, even if your environment isn't conducive to growth, isn't conducive to what you actually want, then the only choice is, your only option is to figure out, well, how can I do it even in this environment? How can I temporarily take a few minutes out of my day to remove myself from this environment if I feel like I can't grow here? There is an answer to everything, right? And here's another thing that I want to tell you about your beliefs. Something that I like to do, that I tell all my clients to do when you're visualizing your beliefs, is you have to start looking at them as a buffet. I want you to imagine this. You are walking into a buffet and you've never been here before. There's a lot of things that you have not tried. But when you walk in, because everything like looks so good, you grab a plate and you start to fill it up. You put a whole bunch of things that you don't even know the name of. All you know is it looks good and I want to try it. You go back to your table, you start eating, and as you eat, you realize some of this tastes good as fuck and some of this tastes like shit. Fine. So what are you going to do? Everything that tastes like shit, you're going to put it to the side and you're not going to go back and get it. Like when you get up for that second round of food, everything that didn't taste good to you that first time, you're not going to go back for it because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't taste good. You don't want to eat it. It's the same thing with your beliefs. Anything that doesn't feel good to think, anything that makes you feel less than, anything that makes you feel like the life that you say you want, you can't have, stop going back for seconds, right? And that is easier said than done. However, I'm going to teach you how to keep going back to what you want and stop focusing on what you don't want. But we're going to start with awareness. I'll make another video that goes more in depth about your beliefs and your belief system. But for now, we're just starting with your limiting beliefs. But I did want to give you a picture because I want you to visualize that you do have a choice in what you choose to believe. It doesn't matter how factual it feels. And I want to give another example because I speak with a lot of women and their excuse a lot of the time is, well, the economy that I'm living in is bad. The job market is terrible. And that might be a fact. Like statistically speaking, you might be able to look at that and say, well, this is true. It doesn't matter. This is where the delusion comes in. It doesn't matter. You have to become the exception to the rule. You have to become the exception to what everybody thinks is going on right now. And the reason why you're going to be the exception is because I know in your lifetime, you have seen people who have been the exception. You have ran into people who it's like, how are they so lucky? How are they doing so well? Like everyone is suffering. However, this person just seems so fucking lucky. Why is that? Because they believe that they can do it regardless. They have allowed themselves to be the exception to the rule. The rules that you are trying to live by, the rules that are limiting you, you can become the exception to them. You just get to choose. Like I said, your belief is like a buffet. You go in, you take what you like, and you leave what the fuck you don't like. Okay? Write down your goals, write down all the reasons why you feel like you can't have them, all the things that you feel are blocking you, and that is your list of limiting beliefs. I don't care how true they feel. I don't care how factual it is. If it doesn't serve the goals that you have to find a way around them. And the first way to do that is to become aware and tell yourself, there is no other option than for me to find a way around this because I know the type of life that I want to live. And in order to live that life, I have to be willing to get around these excuses, period. Now, the second thing that you're going to do is what I call building a belief bridge. This is very similar to creating affirmations, but the main difference here is I am not going to tell you to create things and affirmations and statements that you don't actually believe. What a belief bridge does is it takes what you currently are believing and it's a bridge in between what you want to believe instead. So let me explain this further. Let's say you want to believe that you can be a millionaire. This is your belief that I want to be a millionaire. But currently what you're believing is I can't make that much money. That's unrealistic. So what we need to do is we need to draw a line in between these two beliefs and bring you closer and closer to the belief that you can be a millionaire. Now, what traditional affirmations tell you is, well, just wake up every morning, look in the mirror and say, I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire, until you eventually believe it. And that shit doesn't work. What you're going to do instead is you're going to say, if you currently believe it is impossible for you to make that much money, you need to choose something that you can believe that is taking you closer to that belief. So instead of I am a millionaire, maybe instead what you need to believe is I can make more money. Right? It sounds very simple. It kind of sounds like less exciting than I'm a millionaire. But let me tell you, What are you more likely to believe? I am a millionaire or I can make more money? I'm going to answer the question for you. More than likely, it is easier for you to believe that you can make more money rather than for you to believe I am a millionaire. And that's what a belief bridge does. It bridges the gap between where you currently are and where you want to be. However, because we aren't magicians and because unfortunately it takes us time to actually start to believe in all the good that can happen to us, you have to slowly but surely build your belief up. Build your belief up. It's kind of like a stair step. So we're going to go from I can't do this to maybe there's a possibility that I can, to, you know what, I've seen other people do this, so of course I can, to I am 100% going to be a millionaire. So that's what I mean by build a belief bridge. Look for a statement that you can believe that isn't too far outside what you currently believe is possible for you. And that is how it's going to work. I promise you, this is going to be better than creating an affirmation that you do not believe in. And this goes for anything. It's not just monetary gains. Let's say you want to be more confident, but right now you can't look in the mirror and 100% believe I am a confident person. So what you need to do instead is, how can we bridge that gap? Can you believe that there is beauty inside you in some way? Can you believe that maybe maybe I'm not perfect, but the things about myself that I don't love, I can try to change them. I can try to work on them. If it's my weight, I can work out. I can eat healthier. If it's my skin, maybe I can do some type of cleanse. Whatever it is, the point here is like, find a belief that is easier for you to believe. Instead of trying to jump to that super positive affirmation that makes you feel excited, but low key you don't believe, and it doesn't matter how many times you repeat it, it's just not happening. You have to build what I call a belief bridge. Find the thought in between what you currently believe and what you want to believe instead that feels the most realistic to you, and start repeating that to yourself. So every day it's, I can make more money. I can make more money. I can have more. It's possible for me to find other jobs. It's possible for me to build this business. What you're doing here is you're just training your brain to be open to the possibility. You don't have to trick yourself overnight. You don't need to believe in the fact that you might be able to create your dream life overnight. You just have to open your mind up to the possibility. That's it. And that's how you're going to get rid of your limiting beliefs. Again, those 2 steps, they're very simple. The first one is awareness. You're going to become aware of everything that you currently believe is stopping you from creating the life you want. And then the second thing is, you're going to look at all those beliefs that you now have on paper, and you're going to find something that you can believe instead. Not something that sounds exciting, but something that you actually believe. And once you repeat that belief enough, like once you go from I can't have this much money to it's possible that I can, and you repeat that enough to where you start to believe, you know what, no, I know it's possible for me to make this much. It just has to be. I've seen other people do it. I can be the exception as well. Once you start to get to that point, then you can start changing your belief to I make more money. I am a millionaire. I am capable of creating billions. You can go into those bigger beliefs that require a bigger mind space for you to actually hold and maintain. It is possible, but for now, start with what you actually can believe is true for you, okay? And that's all for this video. I'm not going to give you any more homework. If you can do those 2 things consistently, you will get to the point where you start to move like someone who actually believes they can have whatever it is your goal is. All right, I hope this was helpful. I want you guys to comment, I am the exception, if you want to start believing that no matter what life is looking like, you can create your reality. Okay, comment, I am the exception, because you can be. And ladies, before I go, I always like to remind you, I have a private community. It's called the REWIRE Society. Doors will be open later this year. If you want to join, if you want to be a part of a community where we are creating our dream life, we are banishing those limiting beliefs, working on our fears and our doubts. If you want to be a part of this community, click the link in my description box and put your name on the wait list. Okay? I will see you guys on the next video.